Why do two political parties exist? I'm not talking about political parties being created to stop the other from overthrowing the government or any of that political shenanigans showing. I'm really talking about why do two political parties exist and why do their ideals differ? I've been reading a book recently by Charles A. Beard called The Economic Interpretation of the Constitution of the United States of America. In this book, it is merely what Beard says it is. It is a conspiracy theory that states that the Constitution of the United States was not patriotic, but was simply economical gain for the people of the Convention of the United States. And to get to his main argument, which is that the Constitution was economical, he states and lays out that the politics of America have always been not political views, but I've always been economical. And he does this by saying that you have two separate main political parties. Those that are rural and oftentimes don't want taxes and stuff on land, obviously because they're going to own land, and those that live in more populous areas that don't own a lot of residential land and obviously don't support or want to tax the people that own land. And this is very true in modern politics because a lot of your Republicans live in rural areas, and while a lot of your Democrats live in more populous metropolitan areas. And this comes all the way back to Whigs, radical Whigs, where Whigs supported the British government and often lived in populous areas, and radical Whigs didn't want a standing army, didn't want state church, stuff like that, and obviously lived in rural areas. And Federalist and anti-Federalists, where Federalists wanted a strong central government and often lived in populous, more city areas, and anti-Federalists didn't want a strong central government and were often rural farmers. So this idea can be tracked all the way back to the beginning of American foundation and American Revolution, like Beard says, and it is quite truly a factual point that, when you think about it, makes a lot of sense. Because if somebody that lives in a rural area owns a lot of land, why would they vote for heavy taxation of residential property? They wouldn't, because they own a lot of property. And if somebody lived in a more populous area that didn't own residential land at all, but merely rented from a landlord, they're not the ones paying for residential tax. The landlord is. So they're going to vote on that, because when somebody else pays more tax, you pay less tax. So Beard's theory that politics are purely economical is very true, and it could be the case in most of everything. He makes a very good point. And something I want to point out on is that people get so caught up in politics, political views and stuff like that, but they just forget to take a step back and look that politics are purely just economics. The people at the top, politics are economics, and for the people at the bottom, politics are purely economical. People try to say that politics are about human rights and stuff like that, that the government is overthrowing people. At the end of the day, Beards makes a very, very good statement that most of the time, politics just boil down to pure economics. So the moral of the story is that politics and politicians and all that stuff are not there to support you. They are really there to support themselves, their buddies, and everyone else in their own economical ventures and pursuits. That's about it. Stay safe and stay hydrated.